So for question 3 for my evaluation stage, the question is, what have you learnt from your audience feedback? And I've decided to do a small podcast which will analyse the responses on SurveyMonkey. I've chosen 5 out of the 7 responses because I think these 5 were the most professional and they gave me really, really good feedback. Unfortunately, 2 of the responses I cannot use because they weren't helpful to me. So I'm currently on my blog, and as you can see, I have the 10 questions posted on here. Majority of them are directed more towards the music video, and a few are directed towards my digipack and advertisement. So, moving on to my SurveyMonkey. So, the first question, what is it about the title that you liked? So, when Heel appeared and then by Tom down in the bottom right corner. Now, I wanted to do some sort of effect on here because I wanted it to be the same time as the melody of the song. I wanted to see if anyone picked up on that. It was a quite abstract thing to do, and it was difficult to do, and I just wanted to see if anyone kind of went, oh, hang on a minute, that was the same time as the melody. So the responses I had back, it's short, it's simple. One said the concept that it could be anything, but you already can tell that it's going to be emotional. And someone who actually responded with something quite nice, it implies change and growth, which I think reflected in the music video. So I understand that it was a difficult thing to pick up, but in my evaluation I'll try and highlight it further and kind of say I did it deliberately. It wasn't kind of a fluke that it was all in time. I actually spent quite a long time trying to get the right effect and the right fades in to make sure that it is the right time as a melody. Moving on to question 2, what is your favourite shot and why? So I wanted to ask this because the music video has some quite memorable angles and shots, and I just wanted to see what people remembered and what people kind of went, oh, that's quite creative. On the day of filming, I found loads of great angles, and the camera was actually amazing, the camera I was working with, and it focused on perfectly on different objects when I needed it to, and it actually went with the lyrics really well, and in the editing stage I could just see that I did the right thing with the camera, which is really, really good. So people were saying Tom and Jerry in the background, with the ashtray, bottle close-up, because it looks cinematic, I like that. The opening shot, the shot of the bottle. My favourite shot was the one at the end when it panned towards the knife. So a range. I really like that. People have different opinions and different responses to the music video, and I understand that. From my media class, I understand that people really liked the opening shot because it was a long drawn out shot and it was really difficult to do. I had to stabilise it in the post-production stage, but I really enjoyed kind of working on it. Tom and Jerry in the background behind the ashtray, that was a really interesting shot to do because when I was panning backwards and I focused on the ashtray, the blurriness kind of the camera cleared, and so that could keep the audience guessing, what is that object, what is that, and it clears and it focuses and it's an ashtray, and instantly that gives bad impressions, and that's what I really, really wanted to do. The bottle I personally love when I do the trick with the bottle in the kitchen and it comes out in the living room. That's one of my favourite shots. So then next I talk about mise en scène. There are quite lengthy responses here, but I think in whole people really like the darkness of it, the lighting. The first one here says a glum feeling and creates a scary atmosphere. That's exactly what I wanted. Another person, it's dark, much like the subject matter. Everything seems very natural and not overdone. I understand that people might not be so positive about the mise en scène sides of it, but I did try really hard to try and keep people guessing and go, why is the kitchen so horrible? Why has the living room got horrible objects in it and all of this? Because of the ending, obviously. Low-key lighting, special effects of makeup. I really liked doing the makeup. That was really enjoyable to try and figure out how to get the right blood and the bruises, use of props, bottles. The atmosphere is quite dark and realistic. I feel the outfit choice was appropriate. That's good. I also put some thought behind the outfit and the costumes. Question 4, from watching the music video, what recurring themes do you understand? And now some people did actually have to come up to me in my media class and go, what are themes? This is probably from my English aspect, from my English lessons, but I think people mainly got the idea: sadness, stress, fear, anger, hate, suffering. Quite a long one, but understandable. Alcoholism, pain in childhood, alcohol abuse, domestic violence, self-harm, suicide. I really like this bottom one. I feel like one main theme or idea presented was the cycle of abuse, which it was kind of implied the drunkenness was a regular thing and you understood the consequence of that. Regret also came across as well. I really like that idea. It's really, really complex. Question 5. Are there any post-production editing aspects which you enjoyed? So I just wanted to see if people picked up on the editing aspects. I spent so long in it and I'm not even that good of an editor, and I just wanted to make something that kind of stood out, and I really tried to develop my skills from last year. Tried to play around on both Premiere Pro and Serif, and also online tools. I really tried. So people really like the fade and zoom into and out of the bottle. That I really liked, plus the sound. I tweaked the sound so when you go in the bottle it kind of makes it sound all echoey, like you're underwater. It kind of traps the audience in the bottle. I really, really like that. The fade to black near the end were very effective, so I tried to fade to black between most shots because it's kind of like stop start. It's very uncomfortable to watch in a way, not to make people hate the music video, but they kind of go, what's happening next? Oh, why is this happening? Oh, it's gone to black. So it kind of gives like a pause, and then people think, and then something happens out of the blue. The bottle transitions again. Someone at the bottom, not really anything in particular. I feel the editing was done really well overall. Well, that's nice to hear. Well, thank you whoever said that. Question 6. Did the genre of music match the music video? So this one is difficult because the genre is interesting. It's not pop, obviously. It is mainstream in a way. The song was used for a film. It is known. People do know it. It just didn't have a music video for it. So this one people a bit confused. The pressing atmosphere of the music video matched heavily to the sad song. In a way, yes, it was quite a calm song, which did contrast a bit with the darkness of the music video, but I felt it was effective. Now, the song is slow, and the song, in a way, it can be calm and peaceful, but when you listen to the lyrics, it is about heartbreak, it is about suffering and pain, which is reflected in the music video. Moving on to question 7. Do you feel an emotional connection with the artist? So I just wanted to see, I obviously listened to this song. I can't even put a number on it many times, so I know it inside out. And I wanted to know if people who have never heard the song before, or even heard it a couple of times before because it was in a movie or in a trailer, if they kind of went, hang on a minute, I really like this artist, and that it is to promote the artist. I'm not saying Tom Odell is a horrible, abusive man, not at all, but I needed a music video that stayed in the audience mind, and they will go, I want to check out Tom Odell. So hopefully the responses to this were good, but it's about 50-50. Not with the artist, more with the connection of the characters. I understand that. The fact we don't see anybody's faces, it makes it difficult to make an emotional connection, but I feel like this is more effective for the message you're trying to portray. I like that. Video equals yes, song equals no. Fair enough. Yes, because you feel as though he is singing from experience. I didn't really feel an emotional connection. So it is 50-50. People are not sure, which is it's okay, because it means that if I would do this again, that I would just need to make it more clear that I'm trying to not inappropriately advertise Tom Odell, but to show that his music is powerful and it's meaningful. So question 8, what features of the album cover do you find aesthetically pleasing? Now, this is one directed towards the digipack. I spent months trying to figure out my album cover, and only in the last few weeks of the actual project I got it done, and I was really happy with it. Photoshop is a difficult software to get your head around when you're not so good at editing, but by the end of it I was actually really enjoying doing Photoshop, which I thought I would never say. But in this question, the responses I think people liked. People liked that the artist matched the colourful yet subtle background. The outline of the character has a cool effect. I spent a long time trying to figure out the solarize effect on Photoshop. I have so many drafts in my Dropbox, it's ridiculous, of just album cover 1, album cover 2, and so on, because I just couldn't get my head around it. I couldn't replicate it for the other covers, and something clicked in my head, and I could just do it just naturally. It was really weird, and by then I was enjoying it. The space theme was really appealing. That's really, really good to hear, because I spent so long trying to find the correct images, trying to use the correct features to make sure the stars and the galaxy theme kind of integrates with this, like even the skin of the actor I used, who was actually called Ethan. That's why you can see Ethan on the screen here. It made it really appealing for me as well, because I spent so long on it, and I actually really enjoyed doing it in the end. So, question 9. This is about the advert and what they found eye-catching, and what is the main reason for this. So, the big flower at the bottom right catches the eye as it's bold size, yet the colour is dimmer than normal rose. Okay. The colours, yes, as it features the artist's outline again, yes, the background, and that the focus isn't on the main image. Okay, I did, because the dark background and the lighter text caught my attention. So the advert, I wanted to go with the same theme, obviously. I wanted to use the galaxy theme, and also use my actor's outline again, Ethan's outline, and I think I really encaptured it in one image. Very difficult again. I didn't know what to do for the layout for the advert. Finally finished it. I am happy with it. The rose I also wanted to incorporate in the advert, because it was really a subtle message behind the artist on Model. Yeah, but from this, I do understand that it was a dark kind of image. This space is obviously dark, and it is difficult to catch attention when it is dark, but I think the font really helped, and the images really helped, so that's good. And finally, question 10. If I was to recreate the music video, what aspect would you change? Now this is kind of like a conclusion. What would I do differently if I did it again? And I really wanted to incorporate this question in the whole thing, because I wanted to see what other people thought. Like, my media cast is full of very, very smart people, and I wanted to see if they had any suggestions to make it better. So, slow down some of the scenes with male characters stumbling around to create more tension. I did try this. It might not be so obvious, but I did cut and put it in slow motion to kind of draw it out further and to kind of make it more daunting. And more advanced editing to showcase talent. Okay, I understand that. That means going on Premiere Pro more and using all the features on Premiere Pro. Nothing smiley face, well, thank you, whoever that was. And the bottom one, I personally really like. Maybe make some of the shots relate more to the narrative, or have a few flashbacks showing the relationship. So the flashbacks is actually a really, really good idea. Absolutely love that. If someone told me that or I came up with it during filming, I would have done it. I'm in love with that idea. Unfortunately, I didn't think of it, but that is something to improve on. In future projects, I need to think more outside the box and how to show the characters more and the narrative further. So that I really, really like. So overall, I do really like what I created, and because it was independent, it was all me, I'm very proud of myself. There are aspects to improve on, Do I wish I used Premiere Pro? Yes, probably. I think it would have been a lot better for editing. But I was comfortable with Serif and I wanted to explore Serif further. Serif is not so terrible. It has helped me greatly through this project. So is Premiere Pro. I've used features on Premiere Pro, so I am happy. And I hope the audience are happy too. So that was my short analysis of my SurveyMonkey for my music video. I hope you enjoyed it, and next I'll be going on to question 4. Thank you for listening.